what is the biggest reason marketing doesn't work for local business? For 9 out of 10 business owners I talk to, it's not that they're not doing enough. It's that they are not thinking about marketing strategically. Let's dive into it and figure out exactly what you need to do to get foot traffic for a local business in today's day and age. All right, so first things first. Most people who I work with, who I talk to, local business owners, everything from, brick and mortar retail stores to, salons, spas, services, restaurants, even people that don't necessarily have a storefront, but rely on actual physical local people being in front of them to make sales. So the thing is, honestly, most marketing advice was never written for real local business owners. So, you've probably been told to, you've probably been trying things like posting more on social media, like running a giveaway, trying out some new ad platform, paying someone to do SEO for you, like handing out coupons, hosting another event to, get more exposure. But none of that solves the real issue for a local business, which is that you don't have a reliable, repeatable system for turning strangers into walk-ins. Okay. So every shiny new idea, all the things that we think about we should be doing when it comes to marketing, they're not doing anything more besides adding more work to your plate, like right when you have the least time to deal with it. So, instead of building momentum and having a system that consistently drives foot traffic, what happens is you're stuck in what I call start stop marketing. So, a post here, a flyer there, an idea that sounds really good, but like fizzles before you have a chance to execute it. And then, what happens is you don't drive foot traffic and sales. So instead of celebrating and being able to invest in your business and stuff, you're recovering, wondering if you'll make it through, next week or next month. So let's talk about how a busy local business owner actually gets more foot traffic and sales using a proven marketing strategy that is built specifically for local businesses. Okay. We need to get away from the idea of this start stop marketing, just finding things to do, places to post, and start thinking about this from a strategic point of view. So it's simple, honestly. Like there is one specific and simple marketing strategy 99% of local owners have never used or even heard about. And it works like crazy to attract local customers because they actually are interested in what you are selling and they can see you, and then keep them coming back, sharing their favorite stores, your store, right? Like your restaurant, through word of mouth, like really growing sales month over month in meaningful ways. It's going to show you how to do that without wasting too much time, money, or energy on things that are not helping a business grow, and without missing out on sales by, not keeping up with what's going on in the world of marketing and losing store traffic by not doing the types of marketing that actually work to get your business in front of local customers. And without, constantly running from one urgent issue to another, right? And never devoting any time to planning or strategy to move your business forward. That you need something that works consistently, that you can automate as much as possible so that it works while you're running your business and you are still making sure that you're driving enough foot traffic, because you don't want to feel panicked, right? About what to do, where to find the money to increase marketing, terrified your business might fail if you don't do something different. Like that is where 9 out of the 10 business owners I talk to who are in that kind of start stop marketing mindset, that's what's happening, is they're just doing anything they can, whatever they've heard might work, trying out so many different things, and it's not an actual system. So even if it works a little bit, then it's not repeatable and you aren't in front of your customers often enough to keep them coming back. And you can do this without having to spend hours, creating marketing content, feeling like it never just looks as good as, a big box store or the competitor down the street. And you can do this without feeling stuck or wasting time trying to dissect the latest marketing trends or confusing technology, right? So like we don't have to feel like we're being too aggressive about like pushing your business out to other people without like second guessing yourself about how your marketing looks, without feeling overwhelmed by all the so-called advice and best practices out there about how to grow sales for your business. So we're really going to dive in on this call and look at these things that have maybe been keeping you in that start stop marketing that's keeping you stuck. And we also are going to be able to do this without, having you feel like you have to micromanage some sort of hired help or hire an agency who just doesn't seem to understand what's really so special about your business and your customer, and then don't deliver the look and feel you want, right? Because ultimately, a local business owner, the owner, you can understand so much more clearly and emotionally what a customer really, really loves about your business. And we're going to also show you how to do this without, paying for some like empty guarantee. Somebody's promising you, like, if you get on this billboard or you pay for this SEO service or you have this social media program, that you're going to get X, Y, and Z sales. What happens with those is they are selling you. You are their customer, right? Like, they're not necessarily here to get more customers for your business. And so all that they need to do is make you say yes to giving them money, right? So we're going to give you the strategy and the tools to understand how to spend money where it matters for your business so that you're not wasting things, time, money, energy, anything that doesn't result in any actual increase in sales. Ultimately, the point of all of this is we need to get you to a place so that you can have and achieve your business goals beyond just trying to juggle money every month to make ends meet. So we're really going to dive in and figure out what we have to do to make this work for you and for where you want to go. That's kind of the whole point of this. But, I've used this analogy many times, right? You don't just get in your car and say, I want to drive to California, and then all of a sudden you just land there, right? Like, you've got to map out your journey and understand, what you have to do at each specific stop along the way if you actually want to reach your destination. Otherwise you might end up, I don't know, a cornfield in the middle of Iowa without any idea how to get out of it. So goals are really, really important. And we're going to figure out, what is going to help you with yours specifically so that, ultimately you have an automated system in place. And if you decide or would like to hire more qualified staff to help manage the business and the marketing, like, you'll know how they will execute it the way that you want it rather than just like keeping a body on the sales floor or hiring someone who doesn't understand what your business is all about. So that's really what we're building here, is like a way to make sure that you have a system in place. We are not stuck in this like start stop marketing mindset, and we are understanding exactly what we need to do to get you to your goals for your specific situation and business. So you can feel proud, that your marketing looks as good as your store does, and it won't take hours of your time to keep it looking great. So you're not hearing customers, friends, family saying that your website or your social media looks amazing and getting no sales, right? So like, you can actually understand how to drive traffic versus just try to get views and likes and clicks, and ultimately get some you time back, right? So you can eat dinner with your family every night, knowing you're not spending hours after the kids go to bed stressing about how to find new customers. So you can finally take that trip with your friends, you've been talking about for years, and actually maybe sit on the beach with your phone turned off, knowing that your business is doing fine without you for a few days and that your marketing is working even when you're not in store to keep driving that interest and that foot traffic to your business. So, especially if you have been becoming, increasingly frustrated that everything you're doing with your marketing is not working, if you're feeling panicked because everything you thought you knew about bringing in customers seems to have completely changed, if you've been successful in the past, but your like tried and true tactics seem to have just died, or if you hate marketing, quote unquote, right? I have heard this countless times from clients when I first meet them. Like, you know how to run your business, you really like your relationship with your customers, but you literally hate marketing it. It's not that marketing is hard or that you're not good at it. It's that you haven't had the right strategy and system in place to make it feel like it's a functional part of your business. So that's what we really need to change. That's what we're going to be working into. And honestly, like, when someone says they hate marketing, what they usually mean is that they hate what they think marketing is. It usually means they hate the idea of promoting themselves. So I've heard it all. I've heard things like, I don't want my customers to feel like they're being sold to. I don't know how to translate what I do well into marketing. I don't want to be the face of my company. I hear from people, I just don't like social media. I don't want to be on social media. That's all in that mindset of start, stop marketing, right? We're thinking about different things that we dislike about, certain aspects of what we think marketing means. And it's that we are thinking about it in that silo, right? Like, it's not about whether or not we want to be the face of the business on social media. It's how do we take that relationship with your customers that is so special, that makes your business feel good to you, and turn it into marketing that actually gets their attention when they're not standing right in front of you. So, if it feels hard or sleazy or fake or, anything to put the word out there and market your business, it's again back to that idea of, not having a strategy in place where it works for you and your business and your specific situation. It's not so much that you have to promote yourself endlessly just to make a couple of dollars come through your cash register. I also hear from people like they're worried about falling behind, right? Like there's countless examples of content creators, other business owners. They seem to spend all day and all night working on like super complicated social media posts. I mean, most of my clients don't have that kind of time, right? Like we need a system to make your marketing work for your business without wasting your precious resources. And we need to make sure that you're not feeling incompetent or overwhelmed when it comes to marketing or having to feel like you have to constantly babysit employees or a marketing agency because otherwise it just doesn't look like your business and it never generates any sales. So everything has to really focus on that in-store experience and make sure that it connects with your customer, right? It's not your fault. Like if you've been doing any of these things and you've fallen prey to some of this, it's not the employees or the agency's fault that you might have hired either, right? Like most of the so-called knowledge about marketing is based on high-level ideas that work for vanity metrics, and it's not based on how you actually drive someone off their couch and into your store. So if you've ever tried hiring a high cost agency or you've hired someone in store to run your marketing and you're not seeing an increase in sales or you're paying for some guaranteed sales program you found on the internet, there's a big reason why that doesn't work. Or you're spending hours every week trying to come up with new ideas of what to do to bring in more business or hours and hours researching marketing tactics, trying to implement them yourself. Like if you've spent time going down the rabbit hole, trying to learn how to market your business on your own, this is your place to get unstuck, right? Like we don't want to feel like everyone has a different set of confusing information and we don't know which one is going to be right for the business. So we're really going to spend some time there. If you've ever been desperate enough to ask your friends or family members to help you run your marketing or your social media campaigns, and of course they tried their best, right? But like if they aren't a business owner themselves, if they don't know your business, that probably didn't work very well. And also without feeling like the only way to get customers in is to run some sort of a sale or giveaway. All that does is give away your margins, right? Just to get a dollar in. That's not true marketing. That's like one of those desperation tactics. So let's get into the how. I've been, in the brick and mortar space for nearly 20 years. First as a designer of apparel, then as a business owner, now as the owner of this marketing agency. And I have only exclusively ever worked with independently owned local businesses. So first as a business owner and now as someone who teaches business owners how to do what you must have for your business to get foot traffic in, I had to find a way to stop wasting time and money on marketing that is built for the wrong type of business, right? Like we don't need marketing advice that is built for e-commerce or for big box business or for, any other type of business. We need local marketing tactics and strategy. And so we have to generate sales using a strategy that will get results for store owners. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how marketing works for local business. There is an easy way and there's a hard way. Okay. I discovered this method the hard way. You get to use all my experience and get the easy way. We're going to figure out how to plug it into your business specifically. So we are all programmed to think that we can fight our way to success by copying others who are successful, right? Like over my 20 years of experience, I can tell you it's just not true. Not only that, I don't know about you, but like I don't have the brain power to sit down every week and analyze a bunch of other people's marketing, make my own version of it, and still run my business. Okay, we've got to put something into your business that is going to be specific to your business, your customer, and can just be on autopilot driving sales and foot traffic. That's what a marketing system and a marketing strategy does for a local business. Because ultimately, the most effective marketing strategy is the one that gets executed, right? It's not going to be the one that you spend too much of your time trying to make look like someone else's content or, give away a bunch of money to have someone build you something that then you get back. You're like, well, that was kind of generic. I can't believe I wasted $200 on this piece of content that gets put on my website or my social media. The second hard thing I see almost all store owners doing is thinking that marketing their products or services will bring in sales. Not only does thinking about endless ways to talk about products and services make us crazy, it's not what customers want to hear. It's not going to drive any sales. Customers buy for the experience. Okay, so we're going to figure out how to capitalize on your relationship to your customer and make sure that that is central to the marketing that you're doing. Okay, our products are completely secondary to that relationship with the customer. Think about it this way. If your business were a building, okay, the foundation, the walls, the systems that make that house like livable, that is the relationship to your customer. Your products are the furnishings that you sit on once that house is built, right? So like, yes, they're important. Yes, they are how you actually make money. There's so much competition. There are so many options. Customers can go online to the big box stores, so many other places to buy very similar or the same products or services that you are selling. So if you're just talking about what you sell, then you're placing yourself in direct competition with someone that probably has easier access for them. They can just order it online and not get off their couch and maybe a better price, right? So like we've got to focus on that experience and figure out how to really have your marketing strategy be all about that relationship with the customer. Same thing with my analogy, right? Like we wouldn't furnish an empty lot. Don't do that to your business by asking your products and services to do the job of actually making your customer come in the door. Okay. It's just not what works in today's day and age. Okay. So obviously, if we're going to succeed, what we have to do and what we're going to build is a strategy to actually generate real sales. It's got to be based on local customers and local behaviors, people who are buying things locally. That's who we're marketing to. But I want to talk for a moment about something else I myself have been guilty of in the past. And I do see store owners doing it this way all too often, especially this time of year. And this can take a store from just like sort of struggling to like really in huge debt. So here's the thing. Q4 isn't just another quarter, okay? It is the make or break season for every local business. So this is the stretch right now that decides whether you finish the year with a sigh of relief or with a pit in your stomach. And here is the truth. Hope isn't a strategy. You cannot post your way out of slow sales. You can't wait for walk-ins. You can't, buy some ad and hope that this one magically works, right? Like you cannot rely on a lucky break. If you're watching the calendar tick toward the holidays and wondering how am I going to make this work, what we need is to be able to think about your marketing strategically versus just trying to grasp at, different shiny objects and hope that one of them is going to help you drive enough traffic through your doors this time of year. Because ultimately, this isn't about motivation, okay? It's about not having a system that works for your kind of business. You don't need to do more, especially this time of year. You need to do the right few things, the ones that bring people in now and keep them coming back, when the decorations come down and it's January and February, and those are the slow shopping months. So this is not some, how to post course or how to go viral. Like we're going to really sit down with you on this call and talk about a plug and play marketing system designed specifically for local businesses who have limited time, real customers, and only a few weeks to capitalize on the busiest shopping season of the year. We're going to literally sit with you and build that strategy for your business, figure out the reasons why, marketing might not be working to drive enough foot traffic for you. And you're going to understand how to install simple, practical steps that create what I call compound results, meaning each piece of the system builds on the last so that your foot traffic snowballs naturally. So last but not least, let's also talk about the cost of waiting until January, because I hear this a lot from business owners this time of year, and every business owner feels it, right? That kind of like quiet dread when the year winds down and your numbers haven't added up. And you tell yourself every year, right? Like next time I'll get ahead, next time I'll plan better, next time I'll fix this. But next time never comes because life in a local business doesn't slow down. There's always another order, like another staff issue, another season sneaking up before you've caught your breath. And like that's how good businesses who are like, loved by their community, who might have been in business for years, end up stuck in survival mode year after year. And so when we think about Q4, it's really, really important that if you are not already rocket and rolling, having your best quarter of the year, that we don't wait. Waiting costs you four things. First and foremost, you're losing your best sales window if we're not capitalizing on marketing to bring customers into your business specifically, right? So like the holidays, this is the time when customers are spending, right? But if you're not reaching them with marketing, they're spending with someone else. Second, and probably most important is like you're starting January behind if you're not starting now. So instead of building momentum during this high volume sales season, you're playing catch up. You're cutting costs. You're waiting for your foot traffic to come back. So, it's literally just the most important thing I can possibly say, that we don't wait to start putting the systems in place that keep your business in front of customers. Because the third thing that happens is you fade from customers' minds, right? Like, even if they come in once or twice, if you don't have a marketing system in place, when they don't see you consistently, they assume, you're gone, you're struggling, they're just not offering anything new. The fourth thing is that you burn out without breaking through. Okay. The effort never stops, but without that compound system to help capitalize on the busiest months of the year, your results aren't going to change, right? And then the cycle repeats, right? Each year, each quarter, you mean to fix it, each year it slips away. So the truth is, there's never been a better time to implement this in your business than today. Because if you don't have a repeatable system that brings people in, you're chasing sales instead of creating them. So this moment right now is your chance to kind of stop spinning your wheels and install that marketing system that keeps working and is fueled off holiday momentum. Because obviously we want to capitalize on this, drive as many sales as we can now, and then have the system in place to keep them aware of your business and coming back during those slow months. So don't wait for another slow Q4 or, landing in January, not sure what you're going to be doing. Like, I don't want to have that force you into panic mode and doing more of that stop marketing. So there's still plenty of time to turn this year around if you start now. So comment strategy, and I'm going to send you a free training that's going to show you how to do that for your business specifically.